Hey guys, welcome back. The second little clip for today is going to be about designing a questionnaire because it kind of goes with sampling. In order to sample people, you need to have some questions that you're going to ask them. So the question really is, what makes a good question and how are you going to get the best data that you can possibly get? So questions can often be asked in an open way or with choices that help organize the responses. So open just means like people could answer whatever they want. It's totally open to whatever someone's going to put. So think about that when you're like kind of designing a questionnaire. Typically with statistics, there are some things you actually want to find out. So sometimes the choices are better. So let's just take a look at the differences. Here's a couple open questions. How much did you spend on entertainment last week? What is your favorite subject? Should school cafeterias be banned from selling certain foods? If so, which foods? So because they're open, it leads to people answering all kinds of different answers, which means you may get like 50 different answers. For the sake of like coming up with data, having that many options is sometimes very difficult. So just keep that in mind. You'll notice like with the choices over here, this kind of puts it into range. How much did you spend on entertainment last week? Less than 16, 16 to 30, or over 30. So people only have 3 choices. So you're going to get data in only those 3 categories. Which is your favorite subject? Choose one. So in this case, instead of it being open, they have to choose one of those, and there are only 6 choices there. So instead of having like 20 choices, you only have 6 to choose from. And then foods such as pop chips and french fries should be banned in school cafeterias. Strongly agree, disagree, agree. Those are all choices, but notice there are only 5 of them instead of leaving it up to whoever's taking the survey where you'll get lots and lots of different responses. So keep that in mind. Choices are sometimes easier to deal with than open questions. The second thing I want to say is try to avoid questions that may bias the results of a survey or provide vague responses. So if the survey is biased, a lot of people will either pick the same thing or it kind of gets you to have the answers that you as the person making the survey want. And companies will do that where it's not really representative. Or you'll get vague responses that don't really tell you anything about what you really want. So here are some ways in which questions can be flawed. They can lead people to respond in a particular way because of the wording. They can lead people to respond in a particular way by not providing enough information or enough alternatives. Ask questions that are too general. That would make it vague. Or ask several things at once without allowing for this in the answers. So let's identify the better question in each pair, and we'll talk about what's wrong with them. Okay, so the first one, police officers who perform vital services in our community should receive a pay raise. So in this case, you can either agree or disagree. The other question, which statement best describes your opinion about police salaries? Police salaries are lower than they should be, they're higher than they should be, are appropriate, or don't know, no opinion. So I would say that this one is probably better because it gives people the chance to say, I don't really know. And it gives people a chance to kind of more say what they think instead of just should they receive a pay raise. Yeah. Let's go to the second one. Have you purchased dog food in the last 3 months? Yes or no? If yes, what type was it? Canned, dry, or both. Have you ever purchased canned or dried dog food? Yes, no, or unsure. I think in the first question, it allows you to kind of, it's kind of asking 2 questions at once, but it allows you to get more information. Because it's actually got it divided into canned, dried, or both. In the second question, it's just, have you ever purchased canned or dried? And they can say yes, but then you don't know exactly which ones. So if you're trying to find out if canned is more or dried is more, you're not really going to get that answer from that question. So I would say that this one is a better question. And the last one, do you think the minimum wage in Ontario should be raised to $10? Obviously, this is a little old. Yes, no, don't know, no opinion. Or do you support the efforts of Ontario anti-poverty groups to raise the minimum wage to $10? So in this one, it tells you that it's anti-poverty. So it's making you think that that the group is against poverty and that $10 is too low. And so it's kind of biasing you to make you say yes. So be careful of that. This one is more general in terms of just, do you think it should be raised? And it doesn't give you any extra things like anti-poverty or who's trying to raise it. So I would go with this one. Okay. Try it out in your questions in the lesson and see how you do.